Ryan, thanks for joining us. Getting ready for the weekend, of course. You extended your impressive run in the league on Monday night and against the league leaders as well. So, at the moment, how do you think it's all affecting the players for self-belief and confidence?
I think from day one of pre-season, the players have been really confident, and have shown that belief throughout. I think what they've managed to do is not get too high when we've had good spells and not get too low when we've had tough periods. So we obviously had a tough period at the start of the season with the first 3 games. Obviously lost the first 2 and then drew at home with Swindon. But they didn't get too down about it. They knew that the performances were coming. We just needed a little bit of rub of the green at times. And I think since the start of that season, which was a bit of a tough period, I think they've come on strong, and I think that confidence has remained throughout since we got together at the start of pre-season. And as I said, there's a good group, there's good characters within the group, and I think that's been important, that they don't get carried away with things, they don't get too down with things, and they just remain focused on the task in hand and what's the next challenge coming up.
I was going to say, one thing that seems to shine through is that whatever game plan you come up for the players as the manager and the coaches, they seem to stick to it. That must be pleasing for you.
Yeah, again, they want to learn, they want to improve, and one of the biggest things in credit to them is they're adjustable. They can adjust in game, and they've shown that at different stages and in different periods in games throughout the course of the season so far. And I think that's a big strength for the players, that we are able to challenge them and change things when we think we need to be changed, and they pick it up really quickly. And I think that's gone a long way of us to having a bit of a decent run at the moment. And
another area that can't be questioned is the way that how fit they are, how they keep going throughout the 90 plus minutes that the game is taking now. And that's been a big change in the game overall, hasn't it? Because there are a lot of late goals coming in.
Yeah, and again, credit to themselves. They've all got themselves into a condition at the start of pre-season that is now showing throughout the course of the games that they are an athletic group, and it's important that you have legs throughout the team, and it just helps in games. It gets us through tough periods with how athletic the group actually is in all areas of the pitch, and I think that's showing with some of the performances at the moment.
Can we talk loan players? You're coming up to your 17th fixture in the league, and the loan players that you brought into the football club have all played their part, haven't they?
I think they've been terrific. I think we've done really well. I think we did really well with the loan players for the first half of the season last year, with the likes of Joe White and Aaron Rowe, etc. And I think the recruitment team have done really well with the targets that they highlighted at the start of this year. Obviously Philip's come in and done terrific. Max Conway's come in and done terrific as well. Jamie Knight-LaBelle. Kean's obviously done well when he's been in the team. He's not had as much game time as the other 3. But again, we've still been pleased with Keane's performances when he's been on the pitch.
You know what the next question is going to follow up then, because that transfer window is drawing closer and closer. You're coming into sort of December next week. Is the work ongoing already? Are you always in negotiation with the recruitment team and the other coaches?
Yeah, that work's been ongoing since the 1st of September when the transfer window shut. We then start the next challenge in making sure that we've got targets highlighted. But our main priority is to keep the lads that we've got. We want to keep them with us for the remainder of the season, and hopefully we can do that. And that makes our lives easier when it comes to January, in terms of what we want to do.
I was going to say, are you always in contact with their parent clubs of how they're progressing? What's the next step in their developments?
Yeah, the recruitment team more so. They're in consistent dialogue with them more frequently, and obviously at these bigger clubs now, they obviously have people that just work with the loan players, so we've obviously been in contact with them, and some of them have come in and spent the day with us, seeing what we do and how the lads are getting on, how they've settled in, etc. So yeah, hopefully we're building them relationships and they've got that trust in us and what we're doing for their players, and hopefully that repays us and we can hopefully keep them for the remainder of the season.
Next two fixtures, of course, we've got 12:30 kick-offs. This will be a little bit of a different for your preparation, of course, for Saturday, because you've got a long trip to head to Carlisle. But what are you expecting, Carlisle, where they are at the moment?
Yeah, I don't think you can read too much into the league table, if I'm being honest. This stage of the season, things can really change quickly. You look a month or so ago, Accrington were near the bottom and round in the bottom two, and they've gone on a terrific run and they're mid-table now. And I think it's the same with Carlisle. They've got good players, they've got a good manager that plays in a good way. Of late, their results have picked up. They had a brilliant draw against Doncaster. Same again against Bromley. They had a good win away at Salford not so long ago. So their performances and their results are starting to turn, and they're quite capable of going on a decent run and shooting themselves up the table. So we don't look too much into where teams are at the moment. It's just all about us and focusing on us and making sure that we do what we can to make sure we get 3 points.
They're a big club in League Two, Carlisle, aren't they?
Oh, massive club, really good following, really good fan base. We expect them to pick up. They won't be in the bottom two come the end of the season. And
just an update as it is closing in towards the weekend on the injury situation. Touchwood, one or two have come back now and are a part of the availability for the weekend. Where are you up to with the others, likes of Omar Bogle, Connor Thomas and Kane Hemmings?
Yeah, so Kane is obviously a little bit longer. Kane's moving along nicely with his rehab. We're expecting Kane to be available for games come the start of January. So he's just continuing on his rehab programme, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks he'll be back out on the grass. But it's going to be around January time when we think Kane's going to be available for games. Connor Thomas is moving along nicely. He's back out running already. He'll spend the rest of this week in with the sports science and the physios. But hopefully next week he'll be back out on the grass a little bit more, starting to integrate in with the group. Omar, it's positive with Omar. We obviously fear the worst with our injury history of late, but Omar should be available for the weekend.
That's a real bonus, because it was always a concern, isn't there, when whoever it is, it goes off, in an important game like it was on Monday.
Yeah, and he felt something, but it was more precautionary in the end. Obviously we know how important and how vital Omar has been for us. The difference he's made in the last 3 games that he's been able to start, he's such a handful up there, and it just makes our teams look so much different. So we couldn't take a risk and try and get him through the remainder of the game. We thought we just need to bring him off, look after him, because of how important he is for us. And luckily he's not done anything too serious. It's a little bit of tightness in there, so he should be available come Saturday.